Okay, what's up, everybody? It is Sunday, April 3rd, 2016, and we're doing a little Sunday live stream. Hope you guys are doing well and having a good weekend. So, this is another impromptu stream, but I try to schedule it at a time that's friendly for most viewers. Evening European time, afternoon US time. You guys are having a lazy Sunday, right? So, let's watch some Blitz chess and chat with me, Finns, for the next hour or so. Shout out to everyone in chat already. Hey guys. Why, thank you. Victoric says, look at that cute face. You notice my hair is not up today. I'm just going freestyle, like I just rolled out of bed, even though I have been awake for a while. How's it going, everyone? Ken Kiyoshi, Brian, Syntech, Pulse, Scott, Jason, good to see you guys. We have about 70 people watching. I'm going to play for an hour, like I said. I'm actually on a bit of a schedule today. I'm going rock climbing in an hour and a half, and I got to meet up with my buddies right after this stream is complete. So if you guys want to go rock climbing and you can make it to the Vertical Endeavors in St. Paul, Minnesota by about 2:30, I will see you there. So how's it going, Drew? How's it going, Milan? Yes, actually, this will only be an hour, Zach. I can't be late for this rock climbing meetup. So I actually have to stick to what I said. I know my streams typically go 2 times as long as I say at the outset. How's it going, Mauricio? Will you play some Lee chess? No, I'm going to stick to ICC today. I thought about playing a tournament, but I'm going to stick to ICC. ICC is just the easiest format for doing these kind of quickie live streams because I can talk with you guys and I can play a game. If we get into a tournament, I feel like the tournament and the tournament room, the arena, would occupy all my attention, and the chat might even shift over there. So we'll just do this. Living on the edge, that's right. According to the doctor. That's an Aerosmith song, right? We're living on the edge. John, have you heard of the sun? Yeah, I'm pretty pale. This was discussed in one of my videos yesterday. I'm a really pale person by nature. I need to get outside more, and in fairness, it's only now getting nice out in Minnesota, so I have an excuse. Curtis says, cheers from Newfoundland. That's cool. Canadian checking in. We're over 100 people now. I'm going to fire up this first game. Just going to play some 3-minute. And just kind of banter with you guys back and forth. Let's jump in there. I haven't played on ICC in about a week, so the Rainmaker. Let's start with E4. Try to make it rain against my opponent. Maybe Ruy Lopez. Okay. Everyone's playing the Berlin these days. Let's play D3. Keep the tension in the position. Let's play knight BD2. I'm just going to do the old maneuver that is programmed in the Ruy Lopez. Although I got to be careful in this line because if you remember a live stream I did a while back, there's this plan with Queen E8, and I just dropped a pawn, just as I said that. Okay, we're going to play down a pawn here, guys, and we're going to see how it goes. Speak of the devil, right? I say I'm going to be careful, and then I immediately drop a pawn. Probably he should play bishop g7 here. The bishop is loose on d4, but I don't think I can exploit it. Even if he plays like knight g7, I don't think I can exploit it. For some reason, he's thinking. I'm going to need the fire emojis early today, guys. I just dropped a pawn on move 10 or so. Thank you, Samarth, for checking in from India. Much appreciated. Okay, bishop back to g7. I got to keep some tension in the position, so let's at least try to make him make a concession if he wants to take my bishop on h6. Wise words that I've heard repeated many times are that you need to play 3-minute blitz, more so like it's bullet than blitz. It took me a while to learn that, but I think it's absolutely true. Okay, so he's trying to control the f4 square. I don't like that plan for me. That's annoying. He's also hitting b2, annoyingly enough. I should probably retreat, so I think I'll do that. I'm a little scared, though. I had to go backwards. This knight is coming into the position. He's got some pressure against, like, g2, for instance. And I need to be very cautious right now. This position is just outright bad. Okay, I'm going to play knight e3 and see what we can do. He can take on d3, queen takes b2. I guess I'll try to play rook b1 then, and then go attack b7. But, I mean, there's numerous ways he can play this. He chooses that one. That one I wasn't so concerned about. Okay, let's just come here. If he plays knight h3, we're just playing king h1. He was threatening knight takes g2 there. But now that I have my bishop on that square, looks all right. Look at that time. We're up about 30 seconds. So if we can keep that going, we have a chance. I want to go king h1 and then knight d5. And try to take advantage of this pinned piece. Yeah, so he pressures that pawn. That makes a good deal of sense. Yeah, I guess we'll go here. f5 would be thematic, I would say, here. Maybe f5 will just take it, though. I don't know that I care too much. You are looking you in white shirt. This is actually a yellow shirt, Milad. It might appear white on stream, though. Okay, I need to get out of this pin, so probably this. It's just uncomfortable to have the queen on g5 with the king on h1. I might try to go rook a c1. So he retreats. Well, let's bring this over. My position is gradually improving, I think. h4. Keep on trucking. Okay, so queen b4 would attack the pawn. Also maybe enable. I'm going to go queen f2, though. Keep an eye on h4. I want to jump the knight into d5. That would be my ultimate goal. Although if I do it now, just bishop c6, I suppose. But then I get f4 in. Okay, I got to try something like this. He's under a minute. This is the beauty of 3 minute. You can always try to confuse the issue. f5 now? Just keep going. f5, he's coming into d4. f5, f6 may be difficult for him, though. Okay, I'm going to try it. We're going to attempt to play f6 after this and then cut off his queen from defending the h4 pawn. I almost want to take here, but I don't think that's sound. I would really doubt if that's sound. So let's see if he swaps. I have a feeling he's going to swap and play rook e8 at the end. Problem is, even endgames are pretty bad for me here. He wants to just take this pawn. Well, bishop b5. Nah, I'm just going to take on f5. So we're going to do this. And see what kind of damage we can do this way. Still a slight time edge, but I am down 2 pawns now. Okay, queen here, maybe. Maybe. Let's play a3. Time edge shrinking. But what can you do? What can you do, right? Okay, let's try to switch back over and attack down the f-file. The Scandi Swindler in action, guys. Beware. Rook f5 would be a good move here. Let's go here and maybe try to set something up on f7 with a tripling up. Got to stay aggressive. We cannot slow down. Rook e1, he could try to swap stuff once again. I'm threatening rook takes f5, maybe. Also, the time edge is becoming significant. I'm going to try to stop him from playing c4. That's the point of my last move. Annoy him a little bit once again. Let's go rook f4, just annoyance. Rook takes f5 was possible there. Let's do that. Now I'm threatening rook f8. Check. I have mate coming up, or close to it. Yeah, he's got to give material. He's still winning, probably, or close to it, but yeah, he has no time. All right, we win the first game. We had 12 seconds left at the end in this 51-move game. That's how you do it. You drop a pawn early on, you get a bad position, but you stay up on time, you stay positive, and you just will yourself back into the game with lots of fire emojis, too. You are from Minnesota. Is there any truth in Fargo? You're talking about the movie Fargo. Yes, a lot of stereotypical Minnesotans talk like the characters in Fargo, which is a good movie. You guys should go see it if you haven't. There's a legendary scene featuring a wood chipper that's pretty violent, along with a lot of other stuff in the movie that's pretty legendary. But yes, there are a lot of Minnesotans who talk like that. Not me so much. I've never had the Minnesotan accent, but you hear it all the time. Someone else was asking something. Sorry, I missed the question. Glad you got to catch a stream, Uday. He says hi from India. Rob is checking in for his first stream. Good to see. Yeah, right, Zach. I think you got to play it closer to a bullet game than a blitz game. That's absolutely true. Vishal, I'm going to stream for 1 hour, so we're about 13, 14 minutes into the stream. I don't know why I'm being oddly specific like that. Let's just call it 15 minutes. So yeah, I'm going for an hour total. I'm over 2,400 with that last game in 3 minutes. Let's get back in against Saud. Okay, play d4, d5. Slav coming up. Let's play a Slav proper. D takes c4. Play the bishop out to f5. a4, not a desirable move from White's strategic point of view. It is the normal move, though, because you want to stop b5. I've just never felt that this is like a great move for White. So I'm playing this line again, which I've had mixed success with. I think I'll try to play this f6 and then g5 variation. I had a game against this Grandmaster Anit, who's an Israeli Grandmaster. It went the same exact way. Can't remember which one I played. I'm just going to play bishop g6 here. I still haven't looked up the theory to know whether bishop g6 or bishop e6 is the move. I'm very bad. Queen f7, perhaps. Queen f7, I'm inviting h5. Let's go rook d8. This rook on c1 is creating some uncomfortable pressure right here, but if I can swap some material, I feel okay about my chances. So I'm offering a queen trade. If he takes it, I'll probably take with the bishop. I have to be wary of f4, f5 with tempo on this piece. So let's see if he agrees to a trade. He doesn't have too many options, in fact. The queen can't go to a safe square, so... Well, okay, he can do that, I guess. That's a creative move. I kind of want to ignore it, is my first instinct. Obviously, taking the piece is going to be the critical move. If I take, he takes with the bishop. He's going to throw some stuff at me. I think in the interest of just being solid, I'm going to play this move. Is f4 a problem, though? Alright, we'll find out. If f4, I'll just take it. And then if pawn takes, knight d7, I think. So let's just take once. You can take with the rook, I suppose. Rook takes would have been interesting there. But yeah, I'm just going to try to be as solid and compact as possible. b7 is hanging. He just grabs it. But now I think taking here is coming under slightly better circumstances. We'll find out. Okay, so let's go here and hit this knight. So I'm up a piece for a pawn. And I'm hitting the knight with tempo. I like that. He is preventing me from castling, so it's going to get a little weird. He hits this piece. Bishop c5 check obviously comes to mind. Yeah, let's give this check, and then I'm going to play knight b6. I know he can play queen c6, but queen d7 might even force a swap there. I could also just play king f8. Queen d7 might be straightforward, though. Queen d7, what can he really do after that? If queen takes c5, we take on d5. Knight takes b6, we just take with a pawn. Yeah, I think this is a good move. I'm going to play it and hope that I'm not missing anything. This guy's played real aggressive. Saud from the, what is this, the UAE? Yes, UAE. Okay. So he takes b6. I was just going to take with the pawn there. And the point is, he has to swap now because I'm hitting d5 and I'm also hitting his queen. If I can get the queens off the board, I'm real happy. Just envisioning, like, queen takes c6, bishop takes c6, check, king e7. Yeah, I'm doing very well in that endgame. So he's slowed down a little bit. Probably taking on d7 is best. Well, that just doesn't work. Oh no, I can't take that. I thought I could play queen takes d5 for a second. Okay, whatever. We'll just keep it simple. We'll do this. I guess he's going to try to slip one by here, but this should still be good. Gotta watch out for a7, however. I kind of underestimated his play there based on that pin. Alright, let's do this. Just attack his bishop. I was going to play rook c7 here, though, but that doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is kind of a weird idea, but we'll see if it pans out. So I'm going to give up my rook, because if he takes it, then I might hit the a6 pawn. I might even win the a6 pawn. And also there's this constant threat of bishop d5. Is what's really annoying to him here. Okay, let's just play b5. Attack this rook. Bring this over. Rook b6 we're looking to play, if possible. This guy's a fighter, man. He's coming up with some annoying stuff, let me tell you. Probably he'll play bishop b7. I think he has to try that at least. I'm not going to take on b7 yet, because I feel like I don't have to. I'm just going to go after this b4 pawn. See what we can do. Okay, I'm going to come back here. I'm just going to wait for a moment. Ooh, I can take here. Because if he takes, I take with check. I miss this for a couple moves. This bishop is holding this. So this is good. We're winning now on the board. Let's see if we can swap some stuff. He's going to give some annoying checks. If he takes on d6, we have rook b3. Oh boy. Okay, I think I'm going to win. Oh, I won that one. That guy threw everything at me. He played some really tricky moves there, especially with that whatever he did on the queen side, that a5 idea. I completely underestimated this. I thought I was just threatening queen takes d5 right here when he played that, but I'm not because I'm pinned. Probably queen takes c6 isn't so accurate if he's able to establish his pawn here. I feel like black should win. Let's just take a quick peek at the computer eval. But it was not simple to get a handle on his counterplay during the game. Yeah, I'm plus 2.5 here. So I should be winning. King e7 is more accurate. How's everyone doing? Lynn Sane says, hey John, I gained 300 OTB rating points after going from 900 to 1200 by applying your suggestion of playing longer time controls and analyzing my games afterwards. Yes, that's very important. If you're lower rated, you need to spend time playing longer games. Don't spend your time playing Blitz and Bullet all the time. That's very bad. And analyzing your games is crucial. Go over your games on your own after you played them. Try to draw some conclusions. And then add the engine in after that. Don't just immediately go to the engine evaluation. It's important to kind of engage your own brain and try to draw some conclusions initially on your own. Drew says, John, are you excited about the upcoming Grandmaster Blitz battles? Yeah, I think the first one is, what, in 3 days? Aronian is playing? I forgot who his opponent is, but the Grandmaster Blitz battles are a series of Blitz games, or Blitz matches, rather, on chess.com. And Magnus Carlsen and many of the other top players in the world are playing. So yes, I am excited about that one. Thanks, Leon. Glad you caught a stream as well. Daniel says, hi from Atlanta High School Nationals. Didn't you win it one year? Calvin playing the Scandi. The Nationals K through 12, aka the High School Nationals here in the US, is going on right now. Today is the last day. I think they're playing around 7 of 7 right now. Thank you for giving us a shout out from Atlanta, Daniel. I did win that tournament back in 2002. I was a freshman in high school. I was in 9th grade, and I won the National High School Tournament. It was really cool. I went 7-0. Let's jump back in. I'm 2-0 on the day. Couple close games. Glad to hear it, Spidey. He says Chessable has helped him improve. I just put up a repertoire for that Rotlevy versus Rubinstein game. Rubinstein's immortal. So you guys should check that out if you haven't already. I put that up on Chessable, and also I have a video analysis of it. So Alias is playing an interesting fashion with, this is kind of like a Scandi delayed? I don't know. I guess he's going to go b5 now as his point. I'm going to go here. He can't take on d4 because if bishop takes b5, he would drop his queen. So he's trying to get this into a Queen's Gambit accepted now, I suppose. Maybe this has some value. I don't know. D5 seems critical, so I'm going to play it. Now we're on the border of a semi-Slav. Okay, so he takes there. I think taking with the knight is appropriate. If he takes with the bishop, I'll take with the pawn and then knight f6. I'm willing to give him this pawn in the center. I don't think it really even makes sense for me to try to defend that. He's going to bring his knight to e7. Okay. Let's go knight d4. I have aggressive intentions towards this king. I'm going to try to go queen h5, I think. Or maybe queen f3. I haven't quite decided. Again, I'm not concerned about d5. If he takes that, I have stuff like bishop e4. I think he's going to weaken himself too much. Let's go queen f3. Queen f3 looks easier. If queen h5, I was a little bit worried about g6. Let's play bishop g5 here, just increase the pressure. I want to go knight c6. If knight e5, probably queen h3, threatening mate on h7. How's the volume today, by the way? I adjusted my mic position a little bit. Someone can tell me how the volume's doing. Okay, queen h3. Or take on e7 even. I feel like there's some tactic here. Take, bishop takes queen e4. Does that just win a piece? Hitting the bishop, hitting the pawn. He's knight f6. It's annoying. I could switch up my move order, though. Okay, I can do this. And then take on h7 next move. Again, I feel like there should be almost a winning tactic there, but I'm going to settle for this one where I just win a pawn. It's still pretty good, clearly. Maybe he can kind of neutralize some of my play. Like queen e5 is possible here. We'll go back to that position. Volume's good? All right, glad to hear it. Alias, he wants that pawn on d5. That's a bit annoying to defend. I'm going to play this move. If he takes, knight takes b5 is possible, I suppose. I was also defending against rook e4, by the way, because that was a threat, hitting the queen and the knight. So if push, queen takes, knight f5, or knight takes b5, perhaps. Unclear consequences. Knight c6, he takes b2. I can play d6 then, knight d7. There's also knight e7 coming. Okay, I like the look of this. I'm going to gamble a little bit and see if he wants to take b2. But I think pushing that pawn to d6 is a strong counter-argument. Yeah, so he does not even bite. Just refuses to take it. a4 maybe? Let's centralize queen here. He might go rook e4 and try to double up with tempo. I think I'll play queen b6 if he does that, but no, he does this instead. Okay. I'm playing a little slow. I don't like how I'm managing my clock exactly. Okay, let's go in. Try to win this a6 pawn. I think I can do this. No, he can just take on c6. Duh. That was sloppy. That was very sloppy. Well, he's still in a pin, but I clearly bungled that. That was bad. I'm paying for having swindled that first game, being down material. Alias is giving me the business now. Okay, I have 34 seconds and I'm down a piece. I do have a couple pawns, but we need to play fast and accurate here. If we want a chance to survive. Let's get rid of the back rank threat, first of all. I want to take c4 if I can. I'm threatening rook takes d5, maybe. Okay, let's drop that back. I didn't manage to win c4. Just going to try to harass him, basically. Not quite sure what I'm doing with my kingside pawns, but I need to do something. Let's see if he wants a swap here. Rook e2, I'll play queen f3. And if he takes b2, I have check and queen takes f7. He's got to be a little careful with his king. And he can take b2 now. Sloppy again by me. The time situation is getting a little less clear. I completely bluffed him there with a5. a5 was not a good move, I'm almost certain. Just going to try to chase his good move by him. I got to come all the way back. All right, well, now I have a chance. Let's see what these bullet skills are made of. We'll find out here. I feel like one of us is lagging a little bit. Not sure if it's him or me. We're going to go h7 next. Oh, no. Oh, he got me on time. Okay. Yeah, he deserved to win that one anyways. I can't tell. Someone was lagging right at the end. I think it was him, like, by a little bit. But I lost that one. Terrible play. I think when I played queen b6, I started to go off the rails. Knight takes d5. It didn't click for me that my knight was actually undefended here. I don't know why. He is just removing the defender, so I'm not sure how I made that mistake. I must have had a tactic somewhere like right here. After queen c7, his position looks like it's barely hanging on. Because bishop takes e7, queen e4 was my initial thought, hitting e7 and h7, but he has knight f6 in reply. But I've got everything pointed where it needs to be. Bishop attacking h7, good knight in the center. Let me see what the engine thinks. It says some random move on the queen side, a4. How about what I did? Even though my continuation wins a pawn, it's not so bad for black. Yeah, I mean, fundamentally his position is still okay. He's just missing an h-pawn. And the d-pawn is isolated, so a little unfortunate there that I couldn't get more out of that. But hey, it happens. Yes, I will play that tournament on chess.com, Uday. I assume that's what you're talking about. I'll try to fight for that qualifier spot. That's in May, I think. May 31st, something like that. How's it going, Stolen? Stolen Damon. Won against a 2000 ELO player in a tourney game with the Queen D8 Scandi. Would never have been possible without your help. Why, thank you, that's flattering. Glad you won that game, Victorek. Thank you as well, Eli. Okay, let's play another one. El Rodor. I seem to play this player a lot. I'm going to stick with d5. I don't want to have to think too much in the opening. Another Slav, d takes c4 coming up. Please don't play e4. I don't want to face that Geller Gambit. I'm deathly afraid of the Geller Gambit. Alright, we're playing a main line. Now I go bishop g6 is the move. It's castle. You can try to grab a pawn there. Bishop takes c3, knight takes e4, but it's a little bit dangerous, so I choose not to. What do I do here? It's bishop h5, right? So you pin the knight. And then e5, knight d5. This is the way you do it. Take with the c-pawn. There's some subtleties in this line for sure. I'm going to go back. And he says, I don't want to trade. Interesting. Rook c8. I'm not familiar with bishop e2 so much. Most people trade on g6. He's probably going to move this knight and try for f4, but that seems like a slow plan. I'm not sure I like bishop e2 very much. Queen b6 runs into a5, so we can't do that. So let's take. I think I'm going to play queen b6 and try to attack this pawn. If bishop b5, knight b8 is a typical maneuver, the knight is not well placed on d7 in this type of Slav, so best to try to improve it. So I think I'm going to do that now, in fact. Unless a5 is an issue. a5, queen b4. Nah, that should be okay. Let's do it. It's tempting to use the c-file like rook c2 or something, but I think it's premature. So let's dive in here. John, please challenge Eric to some Blitz and Bullet games, please. Maybe at some point. I think he's in St. Louis right now. Okay, now let's propose a trade, because I can take over the file. He has made some progress on the queen side, but if a trade occurs, rook c2 is going to be more threatening. Yeah, see, that move like almost loses material, but not quite for him. Take, rook c2, rook d1. I'm going to do that. h5 or h6. Let's play h6. I'd like to play knight c6 very soon, if possible. Here, take, knight takes, rook takes, knight takes b3 at the end. Okay, I think I see a good idea. I'm going to go for it. So if rook takes b7, knight takes a5, rook takes a7, I have knight takes b3 is the point. And I think I have a slightly better position, maybe. Knight takes b3, rook takes e2. Bishop e4 is coming. Also, e3 is under attack. How does he defend e3? I do not think he can. So I might just pick up this pawn. He can go knight c5 and try for some activity. Maybe on knight c5 I should play rook b8 and try for rook b2. Refuse to even take that pawn quite yet. I kind of like that. Let's do it. So playing aggressive and not just settling for the e3 pawn right away. Now he's got to think about those invasions on the second rank. Hi, Maurizio. John, why don't you go to St. Louis to give lessons? Well, I give lessons online. I don't really teach in person. I have been to St. Louis multiple times. I played chess tournaments there at the club. Okay, now I think I'll take. He was defending. He's just kind of trying to hold out on the second rank, I suppose. How best to get him here? This pawn is kind of cut off. I want to try to win it, but rook e4, just g3, I suppose. I can play this, though. Now I'm going to simplify. I'm just going to go for this trade. We'll see what happens. This is maybe not the best possible way of playing, but I think it's okay for now. He needs to play his knight back to d6 somewhere soon. He's interestingly like trying to prevent me from playing active. It's an intriguing idea. Let's bring this back. We'll do this little song and dance for a while. Now I'm going to try to sneak my king out in a different way. We're going to try to move up the board. Let's give a check here, see where he goes. Okay, he's coming straight into the position, but this should be good for me. Got to watch my time a little bit, though. Undoubtedly. Trying to go rook b4. It's weird he marched his king all the way into d6. It's pretty funny. Let's keep marching here. Battle of the king marches, right? Now, he can't hold everything. That's his problem in this position. Let's just take some stuff. Pin him here. Now we're going to push the h-pawn. He's pretty well cut off. Let me take that. Yeah, now he's just losing material. Okay, that was a fairly good technical game, I think. We ran into some difficulties when he kept his knight on either b7 or c5, trying to keep my rook at bay. But he had done some damage prior to that. Maybe after knight c6, rook takes b7, knight takes a5, he should play rook b5. That was my thought. Trying to defend the b-pawn. So good win against a strong IM. El Rodor. John, do you plan any GM Norm tournaments this year? Not at the moment, although I'm pretty sure I'll play something coming up. I'm taking a bit of a break right now after being very active in December and January. My FIDE rating standing right about 2450, so it would be nice to play again. Do you know Varakobian? Seems an interesting guy. Yeah, I do know him. I played him a few times. I don't know him that well personally. John, I'm trying to become an NM at about 2100 rating. What's your suggestion? Hard to say. If you're that high rated, you probably need more specific advice, so any general answer I give you is not going to be sufficient. Most likely you need more work on your openings and knowledge of the associated middle games, would be my guess. I did play Varakobian at the Millionaire Chess Tournament a year ago. The US Open is in Indianapolis this year. Probably I won't play it, but if I have a bunch of students playing or some particularly good reason to. The problem with the US Open is it's a very tough tournament to make a norm in. Actually, I think it's almost impossible to make a GM norm there. It's 9 rounds, but you play so many lower rated players because it's just all one gigantic section. So you've got 1,000 players playing with grandmasters, and your average rating is not going to be very high. It's a cool tournament for trying to qualify for the US Championship, though, because I think they still give away one qualifier spot. Do you play tourneys in winter because it's terrible in Minnesota? Yes. January, February, that's a popular time for tournaments here in Minnesota. Basically January to March, we have a lot of big events. Do you know FM Gary Manoj? I've heard that name before. I don't know him, though. Chicago Open I may play. That's a much more tempting tournament, Coach Amur. I haven't played that one for a few years, but I'm thinking about it. World Open, maybe. World Open's kind of a grind. I don't like these big Goichberg events with the current time control they have. The time controls in those tournaments are a bit long, in my opinion. What about Vote Chess on chess.com? Did knight f6 win to d5? So I started a Vote Chess game the other day. You guys can join the group, watch the video, and join the group. I opened with d4 on move 1, and it's now your move. I think knight f6 was leading last time I checked. So that will probably be the answer. All right, let's get another game in here. I'm back over 2400. Thoughts on today in Chess Show? I really liked it. That was a show put on by the St. Louis Chess Club with Alejandro Ramirez, Yasser Seirawan, Maurice Ashley, and Eric Hansen, who I think is in town. He's like the visiting grandmaster. I liked it. It was pretty cool. It was kind of like a sports center type chess show. I know chess.com is trying to do something similar, but this one had a bunch of GMs discussing current events, and they mainly did it in conjunction with the candidates tournament, which just completed. But it was pretty cool to watch, seeing GMs in a higher quality production type show. 4 GMs might have been too much. I'm not sure they needed that many grandmasters, but it was neat to get all of their views and such. So we're playing Haber. He opens with knight f3. Let's play d5. This is my usual answer to knight f3. And we're transposing to a d4, d5 opening. Not sure who Haber is. So he's playing the Kali with e3. And I think when they don't pressure your center, it's good to try to get your pawn to c5, like playing, in effect, a Queen's Gambit in reverse. That's what I'm doing here. So let's go knight c6. I think I'll play bishop g4 if allowed. Develop our bishop outside the chain, and then just look to play e6. I'm happy with my position. I think he's got a question mark with his bishop. He needs to figure out how to get that piece into action. He's probably going to play for e4 here, looking to open the center. Just thinking if there's any way I can cross that plan. Nah, probably castling is just best. He wants to play e4 and liberate some of his pieces. Okay, let's pull the bishop back to e7. Not sure about b4. b4 looks a little odd to me. This is in effect like a semi-Slav in reverse now. I think I can do this and just try to get his light square bishop. He's letting me take it. Yeah, I'm going to take that. We're going to grab that piece. Maybe he'll try for c4. If he does that, though, I might be able to take on f3 and kind of weaken his structure a little bit. Or take here. Take f3, pawn takes, take, queen b5, something like that. That looks pretty interesting. I wonder if he can play c5 if I do that, though. No, I don't think he can. If he goes c5 here, I might have bishop e4. So I think he has to take with the pawn. If he takes with the knight, he loses c4. So my thinking is g takes f3, d takes c4, knight takes c4, queen b5, trying to pin him. I guess he has just knight e5, though, in that case. Okay, so let's do this. Still, though, this endgame should be a bit better. I can also even play, like, queen c6 or some other move. Knight e5 is solving a lot of his issues, though. I want to keep some pieces on the board. Let's go here. Rook c1, rook fd8. I guess he just can play queen e2. Okay, I'm going to go here and possibly put my queen on a4. He hasn't played the opening in inspiring fashion, but he's not that much worse. I have a slight structural advantage, but, I mean, the position is probably close to equal. Let's look for a trade here. I do control d1, that's nice. Yeah, I feel like he's just going to swap. Be content to trade. Okay, let's take and then invade. Give a little check ski, and then knight d5. He might just play rook d2, again looking to trade. If rook d2, I could play rook b1 and attempt to keep the pressure on him. Ah, he's going to go there. I didn't see that move. That's a good one. Good move that I missed. Well, rook c8 is kind of a threat. b6. Okay, I'm going to do this. Not happy about it, though. Yeah, he gets his knight into c6. Annoying. Okay. Let's try to swap the bishops. I'm going to take with a pawn. And then even though I lose a7, maybe I can play rook a1 after that. I guess he has knight b5 at the very end, though. Unfortunate for me. Oh. Rook c8. Why does this keep happening on stream? I just get blindsided by a rook checkmate. Every stream I do these days, just miss a rook move for checkmate. It was rook h1 against Medieval. I remember a rook f8 checkmate on one of the last live streams, also against an FM that I blundered, and now here against Haber from a good position. Gotta watch my back rank, apparently. I'm forgetting basic stuff like making Luft in the position. Yeah, I just assumed he would take back, and nope, rook c8. And Anton now has more fodder for his photoshops. Terrible. And I blow my 2400 rating with that, too. I guess it wouldn't be a live stream without getting back rank checkmated. So what went wrong in that one? Well, probably I just played for too much. Like maybe here, this whole idea with rook d1, knight d5 is just not working. Yeah, I bet I'm worse after this. Yes, I am. So I should just play something modest, like maybe, yeah, rook c8 looks good, as the computer's saying. Just pin the knight on c4. That actually carries with it the threat of b5. But sometimes when you have like a good opening, you almost feel like you deserve to have more of an advantage. And when the game develops in a way that does not conform to those expectations, you start to try to force the advantage. And that's what happened here. They had a slight edge, but it wasn't anything substantial. Even this idea, queen c7, queen d7, might be a little too fancy. Maybe I should just swap queens with him earlier. Neglected the old back rank. Let that be a lesson to you guys. Got to watch your back rank. I'm not afraid of Norwegians. Come on. Did you see my game with John Ludwig Hammer from the chess.com Streamers Challenge? Yeah, he escaped by the skin of his teeth in that game, Mr. Hammer. I'm not sure what my next OTB tournament is, Drew. Not quite sure. Locally, there's not much going on. Maybe Chicago Open. We'll see. Okay, I need to get back in. I am quite disappointed with my performance in that game. John, you should do a tactics training video on chess tempo. Time isn't a factor in standard mode. Yeah, I do have one video I did on chess tempo. I may do more in the future. I like chess.com's tactics training server too, though. My opponent is looking at the position. I'm not making moves right now. He is. All right, Powell's is the next opponent. Let's play d4 against this IM from France. Uh-oh, the Budapest Gambit. Okay, I'm going to take my own recommendation and try to play bishop f4 against this, as opposed to knight f3. There's some theory here that I probably should be more aware of, but I'm just going to play it kind of by feel, and this is utterly standard so far. So let's just swap and then play bishop e2. Just getting ready to castle. Oftentimes there will be a trade. Yeah, he plays that one. Okay, knight e4 is kind of interesting here, but he has knight takes c4 perhaps in reply. Let's just play a3. I'm going to let him take d2. It might depend whether I can get c5 in thereafter. We'll see if I'm able to do that. c5 pawn takes queen d5, probably premature. Let's go rook c1. Just want to make a big effort to get this move in if possible. If b6, maybe queen d5, hitting the rook on a8. I'd like to take advantage of this diagonal somehow. He's just going to castle. So c5 take, queen c3. What's going on there? Maybe knight back to g6 in that case. He's just saying you have nothing, John. Don't even waste your time. He might be right. Well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to play queen d5, actually. And if knight g6, bishop g5 is my thinking. So bishop here. Attacking the queen and then just trying to play queen takes c5 next move. So I have the two bishops. I want to open the position, if possible. Thing is, I'm not even sure that taking on c5, if it's a trade, is going to help me that much. And my bishop is a little stranded over here, isn't it? That's one thing I should have taken into account. So what to do? Stick with the rook. I'm a little worried that he might play h6 somewhere and embarrass this bishop. Yeah, like right there. So maybe I have to sack a pawn. Not great. g3. Okay, so he's just going to try to defend that pawn, but can I win it back? Take, take. I think I can. If rook d8, rook fd1. Okay, we're going to go here. So if rook e5, rook fd1, this guy's playing very quick, which is a problem for me. He has bishop g4, keeping the pressure on. All right, well, I think I still got to play this move. Yeah, he's being very tricky and playing good moves. Try to get my rook to b6 now, I suppose. The back rank is a concern, as is my time. How to be worse against the Budapest Gambit by John Bartholomew. It can't go there. He has rook takes b5. That's really annoying. Okay, I guess I'll do this. Let's try to clamp the king side a little bit. This is not good at all. Yikes. I'm having to make a lot of concessions here, I'll tell you that. King c5, rook b4. Maybe rook g4 coming? Okay, we'll give it a shot. You can just play rook g8. Stay solid. Go over, hit that pawn. Let's swing this over. Let's look for some trades. Ooh, got to be careful. I can't take because of g5. g5 would have hurt there. Try to go after this pawn, I suppose. Maybe I can work some magic with the time situation. We'll see. Bishop f5, good move. And now he's really solid. Rook b3. Did he blunder in a perpetual? Check. Okay. This is kind of a weird perpetual. Okay, we got to draw out of that somehow. I will gladly take that with 9.5 seconds. Yeah, he can't get out of this perpetual because he can't go to d5 ever with this king. And yeah, after the check on d6, if he goes to c4 as he did, I still check him. So he's just kind of caught on the d and c files. Weird end to that game. So c5 was a bad move. This whole idea, playing c5, I mistimed it because knight g6 seems to solve all his problems. Let's take a look and see if that's the case. Yeah, I'm just not better here at all. I bet after rook takes c5, I'm maybe even a bit worse. Yep, h6, and my bishop got caught. It didn't have any convenient retreat squares. I can't end on that one. I gotta play at least one more game. Well, just one more game. Let me rephrase. What are your thoughts about Chess Center? Chess Center is good. Chess.com. Yeah, I like it. Good roundup of all the weekly events. Draw's a good result. I agree. I don't mind that. Check out the... Just click on the Vote Chess link that I have in that video, Uygar. It's right in the video. If you click on that, you can join it. You got to be a chess.com member, but I suspect most everyone is. Okay, let's play one more. Oh, hello, David Floater. Nice to see you in the chat. And how's it going, Keem? A student of the late, great Emery Tate, he says. Awesome. I bet you guys had some interesting lessons. Emery was a legendary attacking player who unfortunately passed away recently. No, this is going to be the last game. Guitar player. Like I said, I got to meet up with some buddies, so last one. We're wrapping this baby up. Josh DeRuca. Okay, and what better opening to go out on than a good old Scandinavian? Let's play the Queen A5 variation. Even though it seems like a lot of people know what to do against Queen A5 these days. I've said before, I think some of the D3 setups are uncomfortable against Queen A5. Knight H3 against the Budapest is interesting. Bishop B3, that's an odd-looking move. I'm actually going to drop my queen back. That's some sort of prophylactic move, but white doesn't really need that move. So I'm quite satisfied with my position. I'm actually going to play H6, just so if knight H4, I don't have to part with the light square bishop. Ah, I shouldn't have played that one. That was kind of foolish of me. I should have gone back to H7 immediately, but okay. Ooh, now I could experience some development problems. Gotta be careful. He tricked me with his innocuous moves. Alright, well, now I'm going to have to operate at a space disadvantage. Knight D5, maybe? Or take? Let's just take. This position is suspicious already, though. Last game, I got to make it count, even if I lose. Bring the fire emojis. Knight E4 is just good here, I think. It looks strong. Focusing on the D6 square. Okay, well, he's going to take and maybe let me off the hook a little bit. Is Bishop B4 his plan? Trying to keep my king in the center? But I guess I could play Knight C6 then. And he's going to try it. Let's just develop. If bishop c5 or bishop d6, I have check on a5, and I think I win a pawn. So he does have to be cautious. Knight takes e5 not working. But bishop e4 maybe. Followed by knight takes e5. What say we about that? Let's do it. So hitting the rook, he just castles. It's funny. Okay, so knight takes e5. Is that working? I believe so. Can he actually play? No, he can't play queen h2. All right, let's do it. So his d-pawn was overloaded. It was trying to defend e5 and c5. One nice thing, I believe, is that... Okay, yeah, here, my queen is coming into g3 awfully quick. Knight takes g4 or knight takes c4. Okay, let's do it this way. Aha! Boom! Queen g3, strike. Yeah, he just missed that. I didn't have to recapture. That's the same mistake I made against the Haber's guy. I just assumed that there would be a recapture, but here he's forced to play queen g2, and then we checkmate him. Well, the mistake I made in the opening there was playing bishop g6. For some reason, I didn't think knight e5 was coming. I thought knight h4 was coming. But on g4, I definitely should have played bishop h7, I believe. Yeah, bishop h7 is fine for black. Bishop g6, on the other hand, essentially hands him a very useful tempo because knight e5, and you do not want to have to play f takes g6 in response to knight e5. That's almost always terrible in the Scandinavian, so you certainly don't want that to occur. Okay, so we take the final game. Jerry is very weak psychologically. He can't play good versus stronger players. I assume you're talking about Chess Network. Yeah, Chess Network doesn't play stronger players too often, unfortunately. Someone said they got into Go because of that Lee Sedol versus AlphaGo match. That was a fun match to follow a couple weeks ago, where AlphaGo beat Lee Sedol 4-1. I'm glad that Lee Sedol got a single win, though, at least. Can you make a video about how to tell which strategy should be used in reference to restricting a bishop? That would make for a good video topic, yes. What do you know about the Philidor defense hand-ham variation? I know a bit. I haven't played it hardly at all myself. Once or twice, perhaps, but it's a good setup. It's kind of a universal system for black. John, did you watch Blunder Like a Grandmaster on the Chess.com channel? I saw a little bit of that with Kostya Kovutsky. I was watching it at the gym when I was on the stationary bike. I was watching without sound, actually. I saw they were showing some famous blunders like Kasparov blundering against Anand. I hate it when you move a piece and see a better move. Don't we all, Mr. Randomness? Thanks for showing up, Cosmo. John, I want you in the top 10. That's probably not going to happen because, well, I was not a big enough child prodigy. I was good as a kid, but if you're in the top 10 in the world, you were probably a child prodigy in chess. There's not too many examples where that was not the case. Take Sergei Karyakin versus Carlsen, two of the biggest prodigies in chess history. Karyakin has the record for youngest grandmaster of all time, achieved at age 12, and Carlsen was not that far behind him. And I think they have the same birth year, too, 1990. So if anything proves that to get to the very elite these days, you got to start young, in my mind, that's it. John, when does Greg get to eat his tough Twitter words? Yeah, Greg is always talking smack on Twitter. Greg is all bark and no bite. I do agree with Greg about the need to change the candidates format, though. I think the current format is not so great. It happened to be dramatic this year with the Karyakin versus Caruana final round decisive game, but it is kind of silly to have people competing in the candidates tournament in later rounds that don't have a chance to win at all. And I like what Greg said about you shouldn't have a commentator debating whether a certain player is going to try hard in the final round. Like Vishy Anand, if he had won his final game with black against Peter Svidler, could have played spoiler a little bit. And in that case, Caruana would have only needed a draw to clinch the qualifier spot. But people were debating, like, well, how hard is Anand going to try? And that's kind of ridiculous. I agree with Greg there. So they could do better with the format for sure. The problem in my mind is that they don't have a consistent format. It seems like they just change it every few years. Like there's a new sponsor and they don't stick to anything too religiously. I mean, 15 years ago, the FIDE World Championship was a knockout. Then you had that kind of unification tournament in San Luis won by Topalov, and he became official world champion because of that. It's just all over the place. So you're going to get different formats with no sense of consistency. Karyakin or Carlsen? You got to bet on Carlsen. But I will say I think the match is going to be pretty close. And I wouldn't be surprised if Karyakin was able to squeeze out a victory if he came very well prepared and didn't let Magnus get the type of positions that Magnus is really good at, like those slow, grinding, maneuvering positions. Because I think if Karyakin can operate largely out of his preparation and keep the game logical and concrete, he's got a real chance. Like, make no mistake about it. World Championship matches are a different level of psychology, though, so I'm very curious to see what like the opening preparation will yield for Karyakin, what Magnus's strategy will be. That'll be cool to see. John, can you make it possible to search with multiple tags on Chessable? That's a good idea. Tagging openings. You can filter the repertoires. We have different repertoire filters. But we don't have a tagging system in place yet. Hi, John. When are you going to play Ginger GM, Simon Williams? Simon and I have to get in touch with each other to lay out the details, but we do want to play. Do you like Karyakin as a player/person? He said some controversial stuff. He seems kind of anti-Western to me. Like, I know he has taken a stance against, like, gay marriage and stuff. I mean, also he was in favor of the annexation of Crimea, and he's a big Putin supporter. So take that as what you will. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be, like, interested in the match. I mean, I don't know if Karyakin and I would be friends, but he seems like largely an okay guy. Just says some controversial stuff, non-chess stuff. Do you watch anime? No. I have one GM norm, yes. Achieved in a tournament in St. Louis a while back. Karyakin will only win if he plays the Scandinavian. That would be amazing. Magnus has played the Scandinavian before. He beat Fabiano Caruana at the Olympiad with the Queen D8 Scandinavian. So we have seen Magnus trot that out from time to time. I would be very surprised if he played that against Karyakin. Not going to get into the U.S. election. I'm staying away from that topic completely. To become a GM, you have to get 3 GM norms, and you also have to achieve a 2,500 rating or higher. FIDE. There's a couple other ways you can get it, like if you win a big zonal tournament, you can get the title awarded, but that's the conventional way. 3 GM norms, 2,500 plus FIDE. John, why do you hate anime? I don't hate anime, I just don't know anything about anime. John, you should post a couple of Blitz games every week. I probably will. Yeah, I'll keep playing my Bullet, Blitz, Standard. I don't have any plans to just do away with that at all. I want to stay active. Okay, I gotta run, guys. So thank you for tuning in for this hour. It was a lot of fun. I will be doing more streams. So I've changed up my schedule a little bit, but streaming is one thing I want to do more of. So expect more of these, and weekends seem to be a good time. So if I have like a spare hour on a Sunday or something, I'll do my best to try to make a stream happen. So thank you to the 333 people who are watching right now. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Over and out, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.